Meowdy gamers! Welcome back to another video. My name is Saphwyn and we are here to bring you some Casual Geographic. It's been like a month or so since our last video, so I'm really excited. So let's dig in and let's learn about some animals.
So if you're a long-time subscriber, there's a couple of videos that might have brought you here. One of them might be the very first video I ever made. It's still up today, but considering it was a TikTok compilation I slapped together, and it was back when I used Apple headphones,
let's be real.
The quality,
the more you do YouTube, the more you learn,
in fact,
right?
Rewatching that video nearly made me cringe myself into a hernia. And in all honesty, if the views didn't go crazy, I definitely would have vaulted it like nature did the dinosaurs. Or the Bundy Hornets. Whatever happened to them?
Are they,
well, with the recent upgrade
Wait, what did happen to those
hornets? Channel, I figured, why not remake the video that probably got you here in the first place? So here's how to survive a moose attack. You don't actually have a choice in the matter. You see, the key word here...
Bro. Anyone else like terrified of moose? I live in an area that moose are very, very popular in the area I live in. But like, are anyone that's scared of just running into them in the wild? I feel like a lot of you maybe don't live near moose, but they are
the road to
gigantic.
Getting a moose aggravated often comes with a toll price of your life. And honestly, you're probably safer in front of a bear than a 10-foot tank with antlers. With predators, you can convince them that you're not worth
beautiful
the effort.
creatures,
but there is no negotiating with something that thinks you're actively trying to turn
absolutely
into
terrifying.
So the best way to survive a moose attack is to not even let it get to that point.
Yeah,
so
I would
here are some signs that a moose is considering turning you from one of a kind to another.
Speaking of moose, though, I was if you guys didn't know, I volunteered in Australia. I was working with wildlife, and when I was working with wildlife, like my coworkers I was working with, they were Australians, and they're like, "Oh, how scary are moose? Do you just run into like moose all the time in your backyard?" They're like, "I'd be terrified of a moose," and I was like, "But you live in Australia. Everything here is terrifying." I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yes, moose are terrifying," but I'm like, "Have you seen what is around you down here?" I was like, "What the heck?" I just thought I would bring it up. Fun fact.
Or drinking and suddenly stares at you. You got the moose's attention.
Ooh, if a moose is staring at you, it's over.
If a moose shows you the whites of his eyes, soon you'll be seeing the sight of God's skies. And if the ears are pinned back, his mind's on attack. And this goes for pretty much all animals. Once the ears go flat, then the next few seconds are going to be very crucial to continuing your way of life.
My ears just
went
flat.
And I don't entirely know
why,
but if a moose urinates while looking at you, it's a sign of ill intent. I'm guessing it's like a territorial thing, but wherever you came from is where you need to be.
Imagine getting locked in the eyes while a moose is peeing.
That's likely the last warning that doesn't come with a hospital bill. Of
course, none of that really
matters because a four-legged armored truck with the ability to make conscious choices could just choose to
why?
Because there is no playbook in nature that the Messiah is going to follow. At which point your options are limited.
Why are you this close to a wild moose? Like, I get that it approached you, but like, guard should be up. It's still a wild animal.
But you're gonna want to get into a car,
you know what I mean?
or a building, or at the very least put something between you and the moose, like a tree or even a mailbox or something.
I would be terrified if I turned around and the moose was behind me. Oh no.
Vital organs, and forgive those who may have wronged you in the past, so the hate in your heart doesn't weigh you down as you go to the clouds. But most importantly, don't get up right after the moose stops trampling you, because that could motivate the moose to star in the sequel of your assault. Basically, the whole make yourself look bigger thing, yeah, do the exact opposite with a moose. Don't stand your ground, because at the moment it's not yours. You're dealing with the Lord of the North, and nothing short of a magazine with no words or a free willy is stopping it. You can expect more than 10% off when a moose is involved, especially when it's a mother with a calf or a male in rut. And for those of you that already know what rutting is, I'm 90% sure I know how you know, and I'm 90% disappointed in you. However, the moose usually isn't trying to hurt you.
I'm that 1% he's not disappointed in. I'm kidding.
Can't really say that for these guys though. Here's how to survive a chimp attack. Yeah, funny thing about that, either you don't or you wish you didn't.
I feel like, okay, you know what? Before we dive into the rest of this video, I feel like this is gonna be a fun fact. We don't survive any of these attacks. I feel like this is the thing.
You already know what chimps are and what they're capable of. People think they're cute because they look like humans when they should be scared because they act like them too. I actually have a list on how to survive a chimp attack. But if you're in a position where you can get touched up by one, then you've already ignored steps 1 through 5. Step 6 is to lease a coffin. But let's say you effed around and now you're trying not to find out. Don't smile or show teeth, since this can be interpreted as a sign of aggression. It's their version of flashing your piece. Eye contact.
Do they get aggression? Like, if you're, I guess they would. Like, I know a lot of them are in zoos and like areas like that. So if you're smiling at them like through the window, like, can they see that?
The chimp is a good way to make contact with your ancestors, since this can be directly seen as a challenge. However, if a chimp is already coming at you with violence, then it might be time to pick a color for your casket. There is one weakness chimps have that might just save you. Because chimpanzees are built like Michelangelo statues, their relatively low body fat and top-heavy body composition means chimps can't really swim. So if you happen to be near a body of water, diving into the deep end where a chimp can't follow you might be the only thing that saves you. Now here's a video of a chimp doing exactly what I just said.
Wait, it's saying dive into the water if you are near a chimp, but if you're near a chimp, there's probably something way scarier in the water awaiting you.
So I guess the real advice here is be an organ donor.
If you're ever in a spot near a chimp,
I understand. You can go on to benefit someone else because it's not like you're gonna need it. Now let's talk about bears. You've probably heard the popular rhyme for bear safety, and that's if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, get on the ground, and if it's white like a cloud, you're gonna die. But there are some misconceptions with this, and some of those misconceptions could get you put on a shirt. So we're gonna talk about it bear by bear. With black bears, you're gonna want to fight back. But that doesn't mean just start throwing hands at the bear, because a bear of any kind is folding any man like Sunday laundry.
Pulling up to the bear, just start throwing hands. Okay.
But what you want to do is make yourself look like a threat.
I have these bears in my backyard.
Loud and firmly, and if you have a bag or a jacket or something, raise it over your head to make yourself look bigger.
Little bears in my backyard.
Black bears seem to constantly forget who they are and instead choose to identify as overweight raccoons, so they can be intimidating. Now with brown bears, you're gonna want to get on the ground, but not for the reason some people might tell you. Some people say to play dead, since bears are like to eat prey that's already past tense. Bears will eat literally anything, including other baby bears, so they're not about to miss out on free protein just because the expiration date might be off. But also, bears aren't stupid. You see, playing possum works for possums because they're not playing. They actually pass out and go into a panic coma where no amount of pushing or prodding wakes them up. Also, they'll drool and release a foul smell.
I didn't realize they actually
so unless you plan on committing to the role that hard, it's not going to help you. Why you actually get on the ground is to look as unintimidating and non-threatening as possible. So basically, none of the things you do with a black bear. You're going to want to lay down, clasp your hands around your neck, and then spread your legs to make it harder to flip you over. But the most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, do not run. A bear can keep pace with a horse over a short distance, so all running does is guarantee you get made into a memory sooner. Especially since bears are the largest terrestrial predators on
It's also do not run and do not like climb up trees, correct?
the planet while also having the endurance of a CrossFit
I don't think I'm meeting...
Okay,
well, that's a lie. I was like, I do have black bears in my yard, but like, you know, he just said that they're big raccoons. The black bear comes for my garbage normally, or it just comes to like scope out garbage or like whatever. Because he's knocked over my garbage like on garbage day and stuff. And we have like the bear boxes. If you live like, you know, in a bear area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't live in a bear area, you have bear preventive measures for like your garbage and like stuff. So I have a bear like come around sometimes. But
the bear will test your instincts by
I feel like
most charges,
I'm never outside when bears
the worst thing
here.
you can do for your health is due to race for a homicide case with paws. Also, whoever said bears can't run downhill was actively trying to sell the human race. Yes, they can, and thinking they can't will be your downfall.
Actively trying to sell the human race
is to avoid one in the first place. So if you're ever hiking in bear country,
why would someone think that bears can't run downhill?
Which sounds counterintuitive, but making a lot of noise actually tells the bear where you are and allows it to avoid conflict in the first place. Also, since bears have a hypersensitive nose and sense of smell, carrying bear spray can be the difference between going home in peace and resting there in pieces. Yeah. Bear spray is said to save people from serious injury in bear encounters 98% of the time. God bless you if you're in that 2%. There is a catch though. Everything I just said applies to territorial encounters with bears. If a bear comes at you on predatory timing, then my only advice is to make peace with the higher being of your choosing. Predatory bear attacks on humans are rare, but when they do happen, someone gets put on the news. And that's why if the bear in your
isn't there like not... There's enough bear attacks, but isn't it like a lower number than what you expect?
Presence is a polar bear, then
these guys are ruthless.
And by it, I mean your time on Earth. Yeah. Polar bears are hyper carnivores, so while other bears are omnivorous, polar bears are all meat all the time.
Look at him!
And since polar bears can smell their next meal from an area code away, by the time you see him, just know he's been plotting on you.
That's not great of a nose?
There is one tip that says polar bears have ADHD, and undressing and tossing articles of clothing will distract it long enough for you to escape. But unless you have like an unlocked car or a bear-proof house, all you've done is guarantee that you now die naked and cold. And if the bear somehow doesn't get you, whoever finds your body gets to see exactly how your life ended.
Now, half the reason I work out is that if I ever suffer an
untimely death, then I can leave behind a respectable corpse. But considering this is probably happening in the ice-chilled Arctic, they'd probably just assume I was compensating for something. If you know, you know. The guys sure do. But yeah, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, you better hug the ground.
Guys, can you confirm?
And if it's
do
white
you
like
know?
Nose powder, then it's finna be your final hour. And speaking of final hour, here's how to survive a hippo attack.
Oh no,
you're not going to. And if you're disappointed by that.
See, there's the Chandler video. You're not going to. You're not going to. It's just simple as that. You're not.
And that's a failure of your own expectations. And considering we're like halfway through the video, if you click genuinely looking for hippo advice, then I'm assuming you're watching this from God's data plan.
I don't want
Hippos are the heaviest things on four legs without a trunk or a horn. They divide crocodiles without a calculator and subtract an estimated 500 people from the population a year.
Just like casually like,
probably
let me just nibble on your arm.
Hippo attack, and I'll show you someone you should get lottery numbers from.
Holy
so my only advice to surviving this whale Karen throwing a fit is to uninstall yourself so he doesn't get credit for the kill. Unless you're exercising the right to bear.
I never understood that clip. The guy smacking the hippo nose, like why? Like what is the purpose of doing that? Would you not just be kissing the hippo off?
Like seafood because he finna eat some shells. Then again, since hippos are as close as you can get to being bulletproof, Self-deletion might be the easiest way out.
those.
Ironically,
Look
in
at
this
that.
entire video, the cougar might be the most survivable out of any animal here.
Damn.
The rules for surviving a cougar are pretty simple. Try to travel in groups, avoid being out at dawn or dusk, and if one tries to offer you a drink, just remember nothing in this life is free. Now, when surviving the actual cats, the rules are a little different.
I was about to ask, why is a cougar offering me a drink? But I understand.
You see, cougars are actually naturally wary of people and are perfectly happy avoiding humans.
cougar.
So if a puma ever presses you like in this video, it's likely you accidentally stumbled into some cubs and now you gotta see the mama about it. Back away slowly. All running does is tell the cougar that you're something worth chasing. Also, with ambush hunters, the worst thing you can do when a cat confronts you is turn your back to it. Because I feel like you would never like really see a cougar. You're gonna want to stand up tall and back away slowly while speaking in a loud, firm voice. It doesn't matter what you say. You can recite the entire script for the B movie as long as it's loud enough for the cougar to hear you.
No, you dude. I'm trying to attack you, your eyes are looking away from you.
She knows.
What do you want me to do? Come on.
Yeah, keep our eyes on her, or she's gonna take the ambush.
Not at, but near the cougar. However, if you crouch down to pick something up or take your eyes off the cougar, then you've broken 2 rules in one move.
I never realized that cougars are like this dangerous, but at the same time, I guess it makes sense because the ambush.
If the cougar wanted you off the census, you'd already be trending on Twitter. This advice pretty much applies for big cats too. However, if you find yourself staring down a lion, first of all, it probably took a lot of bad life decisions to end up there, and it's likely your fault. But pay attention to its tail. If it's swaying from side to side, that means the lion feels threatened, which is good because that means it can still be negotiated with. But if the tail's rigid and not moving at all, then it's
negotiating with the lion?
Encounter, in which case the only thing up for negotiation will be the cost of your casket. In tiger country, it's often advised to wear a backwards mask to convince the ambushing big cat that it's already lost the element of surprise. But with tiger attacks on the rise,
does that work? Is that like a good method?
Like the striped demons are calling the bluff.
That's smart,
Bluffing's
though.
probably your only option against a kangaroo.
Oh my gosh.
Like with the moose and the brown bear, your goal is to convince the steroid rabbit that you're as little of a threat as possible. And you do that by avoiding eye contact and not facing the macropod directly. And if a kangaroo starts putting
I wouldn't even face like a baby macropod.
Take the hits and pray.
What do you mean take the? What do you mean take the hits? I just gonna get smacked around by a kangaroo?
Falls off and kicks you, you're probably not getting back up.
Look at that
But if you want a kangaroo cheat code, lower your head, keep your hands close to your body, and cough. A deep cough is similar to the sound weaker males make to submit to a bigger, stronger alpha-roo. It's basically giving the kangaroo the right of way. As you can see, this woman failed to cough, and now she's coughing.
So the disclaimer just said this doesn't work with red kangaroos. If you guys didn't know, red kangaroos are the big ones, like the ones that you see with all the big muscles. So the ones most likely to hurt you the most is a red kangaroo. So it doesn't work for that.
So I guess with kangaroos, you have 2 choices. You can either have a coughing fit or be fit in a coffin. But you don't have options when you're dealing with the most dangerous animal humanity's ever seen.
Who is that?
And that's because it's humanity itself. So if you ever happen to wake up and find that you're a wild animal,
you know what? I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Understand that you are likely screwed, and any outcome that doesn't end in one less of you likely will end in something worse. And the sooner you can accept that, the sooner you can be at peace. Now, humans may look like the light work of the great ape group, being significantly weaker than orangutans, gorillas, and chimps, but they make up for it. The same way that bullied kid makes up for years of torment with a suspiciously shaped duffel bag and the intent of lighting up the school like a Christmas tree. You can try to run, but the Homo sapien race used to literally chase their prey into heat stroke, since they're able to sweat and cool down while actively running you into the ground. Of course, that's when they hunted with spears. Now they use their father's boomstick to blow you off the census, while still being too far for you to add any input to the matter. Make no mistake, without claws, venom, or a strong bite force, an unarmed human might seem like an easy W. Until you realize that humans work as a massive monkey mafia, where if you hurt or murk one of their own, they exterminate your entire family. And honestly, that's the nicest thing they'll do. Because the other option involves being captured and taken as a spectacle in their society, where they will imprison you, break you down, and punish you for being yourself, just like high school. But the worst part of it all, when the deuces hit the fan and someone gets put on a shirt, they'll blame you for being what you've always been. They'll slaughter hundreds of millions of your kind and then gaslight you to convince themselves that you're the problem, all while actively destroying the natural order that existed billions.
Outside of talking about the humans and humanity right now, this image breaks my heart.
Years before that, because humans aren't God, but they sure love to play. So the only way to survive a human attack is to readjust your goals and just enjoy the show before a hairless oppression monkey with a superiority complex comes by and cancels it. But that's gonna do it for this video. For more consistent content, be sure to follow my Instagram and TikTok. I try to post daily on both. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out my new book on 100 deadly animals that can RSVP your place in a cemetery.
I feel like there's way more than 100. Surely there's way more than 100.
In the description. But other than that, drink water, hug your mother, and be safe out there. Because the only thing more of a menace than the animal behind the cage is the one outside it.
Are we the one outside it? Are we the animal outside it? Anyways, thank you guys so much for enjoying this video, and if you did enjoy it, I hope you did enjoy it. I now do have a Patreon, so if you want first access to all my videos, if you want exclusive reacts that are not up on YouTube, like extra reacts, if you want ASMR content, all that can be found on my Patreon, link below. So if you want to go support the channel, you can go support it for as low as $3 a month over there on Patreon. Go check it out in the description. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, let's comment down a hippo emoji. I'm pretty sure a hippo emoji exists. There's no hippo emoji, comment down a bear emoji. Either or, a hippo or a bear. I'm not sure which one. If you don't have access to emojis, just comment down the word hippo. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Press that like button if you did enjoy it so I can see what more like content you guys want. And subscribe to the channel. Okay, I will see you guys all on the flip side. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe. And remember to not get unsubscribed by these animals. And remember these tips when you see them, okay? Goodbye!